I respect you for opening this guide. While most of the people are immersed in the sea of short form dopamine filled videos, you click this long guide. If you watch these type of long guides, you already have the attention span of top 1% of people. Congratulations. So this is my promise to you for this guide. By the end of this guide, you will be able to understand the psychology behind FOMO and break free from it. You'll be able to prioritize genuine connection and experiences and avoid digital distractions. You'll be able to define success on your terms and live authentically. I'll guide you to take control of your life by managing digital consumption. And finally, you'll feel a sense of peace, satisfaction, and a sense of purpose. Why listen to me? Just like you, I used to scroll through Instagram feeling like, why is everyone's life so interesting and mine so boring? Why is everyone engaged in going to places and not me? But then I realized that I am comparing my inside to others people's outside, which they are constantly effectively curating to make other people jealous. And that's when I started building my own, less flashy but more fulfilling world. And this guide will allow you to move on from the world of FOMO to a world where you are authentic to yourself. You do the things that you want. Seeing other people's success now generally makes me happy. I have upgraded from envy to empathy. And by the end of this guide, maybe you will too. I am Roshan, and I am on a mission to strengthen the minds of the youth of India. I am basically learning out loud. Take what's useful to you, question everything I say, because no one is 100% right, and I don't speak gospels. I just speak what I learn. And please subscribe if you want these educational guides on your homepage instead of those short clickbaity dopamine videos which are more entertainment than education. So, what will you get today? We will introduce the FOMO epidemic and understand the psychological and cultural reasons why it impacts us so much. We will then look on the false illusion of perfection that all these social media celebrities lead you to believe in. We will then cultivate self-awareness, which is very important to get away from FOMO, get ahead of FOMO. Then we will discuss the antidote to FOMO, which is presence and the power of presence. Coming on to building authentic connections, quality versus quantity. Then we'll craft your unique path and you will embrace personal growth instead of feeling anxiety about what other people are doing. Then we will look into digital detox, reclaim your mental space and energy, and finally, we'll move from FOMO to JOMO, fear of missing out, to joy of missing out. Let's get started right away. So, the FOMO dose is getting worse. We are continually being bombarded with suggestions about what to do in life. That neighbor auntie saying, why isn't your child an engineer? Why isn't he preparing for JEE? Someone asking me, like, what is your average package of your college? Oh, you should have a high package and stuff like that. My friends are telling me, like, even if you get 8 lakh package, please take it. What the hell? What if I want to build a business and not a traditional job? Everyone is so mad in India about iPhones, and everyone is like, I want the latest iPhone because it has the best camera. Come on, bro. You don't want to buy iPhones just so that you can flex. Come on. Most people are buying iPhones for show off. Then there is the startup race. So many people are opening startups. It's a good thing on one hand, but without analyzing the difficulty of running a startup, most people are just going head on to that. And just because of FOMO, if what if I haven't opened 3 agencies and 2 startups and acquired funding and all? Calm down, why? The modern world makes sure that we know at all times just how much is going on in this world. And it's a culture in which intense and painful doses of FOMO are going to get inevitable. More and more people are getting on social media with the intention of crafting a perfect online image. So this is going to get worse until you rewire your brain to not be affected by it. FOMO isn't just about missing parties. It's a silent killer of your dreams and your potential. Obsessing over other people's lives make you miss your own opportunities. The promotion that you were waiting for, the skills that you were waiting to learn, the ideas that are eating dust in your notes app. Where did they go? You saw someone going on a trip to Puducherry, and you took all your attention and focus and fought your parents that I want to go to Puducherry as well. It's beautiful. And you left your dreams aside. You gave more importance to someone else's idea of a good vacation and used the time you could give to your skills, your projects, your benefit to someone else's definition of happiness. FOMO steals the peace of your mind. I'm telling you, it's whispering that you are not good enough. Your social media profile isn't good enough. You're not getting as many likes. FOMO damages friendships and relationships by focusing on what's next, not who's here. Everyone is busy in, okay, let's plan to go to that trip, na? Let's invite him. He's not here. Okay, let's invite them. Bro, first learn to enjoy with whoever is present there right now. Whatever you can do there right now, instead of just planning and looking for ideas, looking for trip plans and all. We are just on the pursuit of what's next and who's not here. No one is present. Everyone is disconnected in the age of social media. It leads to shallow connections and loneliness. FOMO turns young men into anxious, validation-seeking zombies. Everyone is like, oh, I posted that photo, that shirtless photo, and I haven't got much comments from girls. Bro, what use of making such a good body? People are thinking like that. They are so scared of missing out that they miss their own lives. They do everything possible to impress people, but they do not do anything that will impress themselves, that they want to do themselves. Is that the kind of man you want to be? Who is always anxious about, oh, I want to do this to impress people. It's not a good life, brother. FOMO is a lie. And it's a manufactured fear to keep you distracted and dissatisfied. I'm not denying its existence. It is there. But it is artificial. It's manufactured. It's not in you. Let's understand the psychology and the cultural factors that amplify the feeling of FOMO inside us. FOMO is not a sign of weakness. It's a result of complex psychological and cultural mix which the social media companies are taking advantage of. But first, you have to see the bars of this prison to make an exit plan. So let's just do that. Without understanding FOMO, you will always be its slave and you'll always be chasing quick dopamine hits. FOMO-driven decisions are reactionary and fear-based, leading to a life lived for others. Why do you want to waste your life living for others, people's ideals of a good life? You create your own ideal, no? And instead of following all these people who have created a version of their life without any proper guidance, just out of their whims, why are you following them? If you want to follow anything, follow our Shastras. it designs a perfect outline for your life. If you don't know what to do, return to your shastras, return to your roots. Why are you watching all these people who are not sure about their lives only? They don't know the meaning of the life. They don't know what's their purpose. They're just doing for the show business. And you are being cheated into idealizing the life that they have. FOMO driven decisions can cause chronic anxiety, depression, and fragmented sense of self. Our generation is more connected, yet lonelier. We are more informed, yet we are confused, and we are paralyzed by the fear of making the wrong choices. We This freedom is misleading and creating stress and discontent inside all the youth of India and the world. Let's learn more about the psychological triggers, which are the need for belonging, fear of social rejection, and the cognitive biases which amplify the feelings of FOMO. The need for belonging. We are tribal cultures. Living in a group meant survival back in the day. Now, it means likes and comments. Every photo that you are not a part of, your brain goes like, oh, I'm not in this group. What the hell? This is a survival threat. So that is one thing that these social media companies take advantage of. This need is deeply rooted in our biology, and social media exploits it to drive engagement on their platforms. Next is the fear of social rejection. This is really bad. When people were in tribes, if you are excluded for your tribe from the tribe, your chances of survival will drastically reduce. So our brain wanted us to stick with the tribe no matter what, right? So nowadays, when people are excluded from some trend, if they feel like, if I'm not doing this trend, then I'm not a part of the group and I will be rejected. This FOMO can be experienced even as a physical discomfort, because the brain circuits which are corresponding to physical pain is similar to the brain circuits which correspond to fear of social rejection. So we actually feel pain when somebody excludes us. Then we have 3 cognitive biases which also increase our FOMO. The first is availability bias. So to explain this in simple terms, let's imagine you have an apple and you are famished, you are very hungry. And your mom says that, don't eat the apple. Tonight we will go out and have a nice dinner. Most of you will still eat the apple, right? Because earlier in the day, we didn't have guarantee of food. So whatever food was in front of us, we gave it so much more importance than, even if a feast of mammoth meat is happening, we will definitely eat that apple. The same is happening with information right now. If you have somebody's status, oh, let me see the status right now. Otherwise, I will not be able to watch this. So this is the availability bias, which these social media companies are rampantly using. And then there is the negativity bias. Back in the day, if we missed a negative news, such as a mad group of mammoths are coming towards your kabila, and if you don't move out, you will be smashed, then it was way worse than if you missed a good news that your sister had just had a son, something like that. So you are more attracted to negative news because it's good for your survival, right? But today, the negative and fake news scenario is so bad that we are hooked to the news, the reels, the stories, so that we don't miss anything. And this is also being taken advantage of. And lastly, the bandwagon effect. If everyone is doing it, it might be right, yes? No. But you are just being fooled by these social media companies. And then comes the rigged education system. The pressure to achieve academic perfection is creating a generation of stressed out students in India. IIT, AIIMS, yeah, IIM करोगे तो ही आपका फ्यूचर सिक्योर है. Otherwise, no. There is a tag, IITian, AIMSian, I don't know. So, this system creates a sense of FOMO and intense competition like no other. Like lakhs of people are sitting for exams for just a handful of seats, even if they don't want to do. They are presented with this streamlined, like if you go to IIT, then your life is set. Not at all. This is not at all true. There are so many alternative methods to be happy and earn a good income than be an engineer in today's world and age. So embrace your individuality and do what you want to do. Create your own definition of success. Moving on to the illusion of the perfection. Let's discuss anti-social media. It's not a social media anymore. It's definitely anti-social media. After social media, more people have become shy and introverted and don't go out in real world. If they used to had like 5-10 conversations in a week, now it's maybe one or two, and that too online. The state is very poor. Obsessing over curated online lives steals times and energy from real life. Constant exposure to perfection wraps reality and damages the self-esteem of many individuals in India. Social comparison, it's happening rampantly, and most people are comparing themselves to every friend they have. Oh, he got an internship. Oh, he got a job. What I will do? I haven't even prepared for my placements yet. We are constantly comparing. And that's why we are sad. Our generation faces unprecedented levels of depression, anxiety, and insecurity just because of comparison. The relentless pursuit of perfecting our online image is a key contributor, and more people are doing this. They just want to be perfect on social media. They just want to look good, do the best in their art and craft, whatever. And this is fueling the fear of missing out. You should understand that social media is just a highlight reel, not a reality. And most of it is fake. Most of it isn't even real. How many filters and image editing, video editing they use to look like that on social media? And then social media has a lot of manipulation tricks. It uses endless scrolling to keep the users hooked so that they don't miss the negative news. Remember the negativity bias? And variable rewards create anticipation. So our brain, it loves novelty. It wants to see new things, right? And this keeps the user coming back. It's like a slot machine. It's like gambling, right? If you are, even if you are on social media to gain knowledge, you are gambling, right? Which reel will have the right amount of knowledge? Okay, let me spend this much time on Instagram and scrolling. Average time spent on social media is about 3 hours in India. That's massive. So much time people are wasting on social media just to take little benefit, and it's not worth it. But it is possible to make you a judicial use of social media, and then we'll discuss that later. But the unpredictability of likes and comments is designed to be addictive, right? And the social media algorithms curate content to induce FOMO. People watch more and more like, oh, that makeup is so nice. Oh, that bike is amazing, bro. So that is designed to induce FOMO. And this creates constant feeling of missing out. The cruel marketers, don't get me started on this one. So influencers, they carefully craft their lives to make a fool of you, and you become the fool. So many people believe these influencers that they are living a true life. Most of them aren't. If you have read the book Influenced by Robert Cialdini, you'll understand how carefully they are using all of its principles. Social proof, they have thousands of millions of followers. If they are following him, he might be right. Yes? No. Authority, they are creating authority, maybe even fake authority in some sentences. Like people like Andrew Tate, he has massive authority, mostly fake. right? Just by his mannerisms, his attitude, and he's creating a fake authority. And then scarcity, like they limited time offers or the deal. If you buy from my code for the first 1,000 viewers, something like that, they are creating so many offers like that. Then liking these create a life that is so likable that the influence gets more. Then the consistency, they are quite consistent in posting content, so that's why we are more influenced by them. And then the reciprocity, so because of their offer, you are getting a lower price, so you might also reciprocate by buying that or something like that. So they are using all the principles of influence to empty your pockets and always feel like you are missing out. Oh, how great their life is. They're just using these principles to sell more products. Influencer lifestyles are often carefully constructed illusions. Constant exposure to these idealized lives can lead to feelings of inadequacy. You are feeling like, oh, Ankit Bayanpuria has such a good body. He has done 75 hard, even met the PM. I am not anybody. I don't have a body like that. That is the mistake. You should never feel like that. You should use social media as a tool, not a measure of your self-worth. You should recognize that these are all tactics by these influencers, and they impact your emotions. So you should take into account, and anything that you see on social media, it's not 100% real thing. Always keep that in mind. Anything that you see in social media, it is presented in a way it looks better than it is. Always. Let's now move to the good part. Cultivating self-awareness, aligning actions with values. True fulfillment comes from within, not without, not from external validation. Lack of self-awareness leads to a life dictated by others. If you are not aware what you want, you will be told by the society, by your parents, by your teachers that you should do this. Huh? And pursuing external validation creates emptiness. If you are always chasing things that others portrayed you, that these are things that make you happy, even if you have never thought of that thing, it will empty your heart because you are making so much effort to do that and you are not feeling happy. You will be burnout. Without self-knowledge, regret is inevitable. If you don't know that you don't like riding horses and one of your friend just posted a reel riding a really beautiful black horse, you will be like, oh, I also want to do horse riding. And what if that horse is super fast and I'll be able to do just like in the movies? So you climb on the horse, and after a while, the horse just goes mad and it drops you and it just kick your ass, and then your ass is into three pieces. So whatever, if you don't know what is good for you, what you truly enjoy, and you just jump in that thing, you'll most probably regret. So our generation is hyper connected, yet deeply disconnected from themselves. They have an obsession about an online image, and it definitely hinders in our personal growth. So here are the action steps that I want you to take. You have to discover your values, desires, and strengths. What you are good at, what you really want to do, and what are your values? What do you value? You should practice self-reflection and mindfulness. Be mindful of what your thoughts are going on, what you truly enjoy. Reflect on that and journal on it. And you should not kick yourself if you make a mistake or you fail. You should take feedback and act on it. For the first step, I have a list of questions that you need to answer right now. You need to note down these questions in your copy and answer them. Take 10 days. Each day, write the answer of one of these questions. I am telling you, this is a game changer, and especially for FOMO, the third question, what am I consistently envious of in other people, is really important. If you don't have the time to write all 10 of these, Make sure you write this one, and you will understand so much about yourself, like what you are truly envious of, what especially fires up that FOMO in you. Moving on, we have the power of presence, living fully in the moment. FOMO is a distraction from the life you're actually living. If you're doing things that others inspired you to do, then you're living their life. No, you're not living your life. Constant comparison to others' lives robs you of your own experiences. It's constantly robbing people's lives. Everyone is trying to do things that pleases others, not themselves. Prioritizing digital interactions over real connection leads to isolation. A life focused on future misses the beauty of the present. This is the antidote. Presence is an antidote to FOMO. If you are present in the moment and you focus all your attention on the present, then FOMO will be no more. Mindfulness is a skill that can be developed. So, even if you are in so much FOMO every day, this skill can be developed. And full engagement in the moment enhances your life experiences. Let's say you are at a party, okay, and most people are clicking photos and making videos and reels, while you are totally present, enjoying the music, the dance, talking to your friends, and genuinely enjoying. Who would be more satisfied? Who would be more happy? Obviously, you, not the people who are making reels, right? So, presence is an antidote to FOMO. Let's now talk about building authentic connections. We need to focus more on the quality, not on the quantity. Prioritizing superficial connections lead to emotional isolation. This is probably the third time I'm emphasizing this in the video. And this is really important. And lack of deep relationships create vulnerability to fall into the trap of FOMO again and again. If you are if you don't have any deep connections, if you do not have any really good bros, you will always feel that they're enjoying more. I think I should do something like this to impress people. But if you have deep connections and you are doing anything, like just random chatting, you will be much more satisfied in that connection than these superficial online connections, right? And focusing on self-promotion hinders genuine connections. Every time if you are saying like, oh, click a photo with me, oh, I have done this, I have done that, if you are just telling about yourself only, then you will not be able to form deep connections. If you're just always thinking of like, you might have thousands of followers on Instagram, but can you tell me the last time you had a soul-to-soul conversation last time? When was that last conversation when you were like, bro, the level of conversation was just amazing. How deeply we talked. Most people will be saying maybe in a matter of years. So, what is the use of this hyper-connected world that we live in if we do not have these type of conversations? If we don't have anyone to call at 3 a.m. in the morning, if we are having a crisis, right? So, if you continue down this path, you will end up with this life full of shallow connections and no deep friendships, no deep connections. Don't be that guy who is like always promoting themselves like networking types of guy who is always like building his personal brand, connecting people with LinkedIn and stuff like that, but not knows any more than 5 people genuinely on their LinkedIn or Instagram, whatever. Actually reach out to people who appeal to you and make a genuine connection. This is really important to stay away from FOMO, because if you have a lot of shallow friendships, you'll always be in FOMO like, oh, that person is doing that. I'm not able to accompany him or her. I am missing out on that. But if you are genuinely deep, if you genuinely have a deep friendship with that person, you'll feel happy for them. Let them enjoy, right? Now, the key to erasing FOMO isn't to do everything with everyone. It's about selecting a few people and making an inner circle. And you do amazing activities, really fun activities with these people. Don't go on a lookout of like, I am the person most known in my college because I can tell you I have thousands of contacts on my contact list. What is the use of that contact list if no one can come for you if you have an emergency? Right? You should choose a quality of people versus the quantity of people. So remember that. I have a challenge for you. This week, reach out to just one friend who you think is a close friend and have a genuine, deep conversation. Ask them how they really are. Ask them about their struggles. Ask them how they're actually doing and properly listen without waiting for the next moment to speak. Do not interrupt them. Just have a deep conversation. Be fully present in that conversation and be authentic. So that's the action step. It may be out of your comfort zone, but that's good. You will grow only if you are out of your comfort zone. Cool. Next, we have crafting your unique path. Let's talk about the illusion of success, okay? So the society has crafted a path for you that after 10th, you might do 12th, you must do 12th. After 12th, you must go to a good college. And out of college, you should have a good job. Most people are following this trajectory mindlessly. And there is no one size fits all. If you say to a fish to climb a tree and you say a monkey to swim underwater, they would both die, right? So, following the crowd leads to a life which is unfulfilled. Everyone's talking about finding your passion and living your best life. And there are many people like that on social media, but question yourself, how many people in your network are actually doing things which are little bit hatke, little bit different than um, the path that has been laid down by the society? If you keep following the crowd, you'll be living someone else's life. You'll always feel that you are dictated and you are not living your authentic life. Chasing trends without purpose create a sense of emptiness in you, and stop comparing yourself to others, because the more you do it, the more your personal growth stops. Just focus on your goodness, your strengths, and don't mindlessly jump on trends which all of the people are doing. The bandwagon effect, though it is really powerful, you should be aware that I'm not doing this because I want it. I am doing this because all of the people are doing it. You should not get into it that way, right? Whether it's most people do is in terms of money, right? They are chasing all the business models. Like crypto NFT was a real thing in like 2019, 2020, and so many people lost money because they didn't know N about NFT, and they were just jumping on the wagon without knowing anything. Don't do that mistake, right? This is a really good point. Even if you win the rat race, even if you get that 50 lakh package, even if you just get AIR 1, you're still a rat. Just remember that. So you should discover your own unique path that aligns with your value. It's the secret of killing FOMO is not to do more. It's to do exactly what matters to you. It's about crafting your own unique path, the one that aligns with your values. You should focus on personal growth and fulfillment, like what you will enjoy and you want to grow in. You should discover what really matters to you and then do exactly that. Take some time to reflect. Take a paper and pen and write down what truly matters to you. All the 10 questions that I gave you earlier, that will definitely help in making this realization, like what actually matters to you. Cool. Let's move on to the next part, digital detox. So imagine your phone buzzes. Without thinking, you reach for it. It has been 37 seconds since you last checked it. Sounds familiar? Most of us are constantly glued to our devices. The next ping, you check the mobile. The next ping, you check the mobile. This constant digital distraction is more than just a bad habit. It's rewiring your brain, shortening your attention span, and making you a dopamine chasing zombie. Do you want to be that? Why do you keep your notifications on for the first place? Switch off your notifications right now. It's keeping you in a perpetual state of FOMO. Like if you don't check the notification, oh, you might not miss out. First of all, please switch off all your notifications and then we'll continue. Have you done it? Okay, now you may continue. Alright, if you don't break this cycle, you'll become its slave. Most people are its slave right now. You don't have to be that person who can't spend time on a dinner table without checking their phone. You don't have to be that person. You don't have to be the person just as soon as you get a notification, you reach out for your mobile as if you are just slave to it. Don't have to be. You need to get out of this habit of constantly checking your devices. So, digital minimalism or digital detox is a really good way to claim your focus back. It's about creating boundaries with your devices. You just make an agreement with your device. No, please don't capture all my focus. I will attend to you, but only when I want. Not when your notification slurs attracts my attention. Please no. Okay? And then when you detox from the digital world, you will create space for real world experiences. When you are constantly, chronically online, you won't get time to touch grass, no? So, for real experiences, real life experiences, the one that really matter, that the one that really satisfy you, you'll have time for those only when you stop consuming so much, right? Create the experiences instead of consuming those experiences on those devices and only create those experiences that you want, not inspired from others' enjoyment. Take one day off your social media, like no social media that one day, not even WhatsApp. Can you do it? It's a challenging task, but if you can do it, hats off to you. Comment if you are going to try out that challenge. As you practice this digital minimalism, you will notice a change. Your focus span will be much more. Your attention span will be much more. You'll be able to be more present. You'll not be feeling any anxiety after the notification bells, right? If you don't check the notification, you'll feel anxiety. But if you switch off the notification, there is no anxiety. So that is the way. And we conclude by moving from FOMO to JOMO. This is a nice word, JOMO. So imagine a life where you are focused on your day and you don't worry at all about what others are doing. Imagine that you end the day feeling fulfilled instead of being drained by hours of scrolling on social media. This reality is within your reach and it just requires a fundamental shift in your mindset from FOMO to JOMO, the joy of missing out. So, JOMO is about embracing your own choices. It's about celebrating your own unique path and finding joy in the present. It's about recognizing that whenever you are saying yes to something, you are saying no to something else and being okay with that. कुछ पाने के लिए कुछ खोना तो पड़ता ही है ना. And this doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey. It requires consistent effort and mindfulness. But with each step, you will feel more present, more authentic, and more satisfied with yourself. So it's an effort worth making. Remember, the goal is not to be completely disconnected with the world. It's about engaging with the world, but on your terms, the way that it aligns with your values and your beliefs and your goals. You can start practicing gratitude today. You can just write 3 things before you sleep that you're grateful for. Doesn't need to be a big thing. It can just be a good cup of coffee, a good chat with a friend. You just watched a full FOMO guide. You should feel grateful for these small things that are happening good in your life, right? And as you do that, you will focus more on what you have than what you don't. So now I will list all the action steps that you need to take to make this guide fruitful for you. What use of watching a full hour of a guide and not taking any action? You need to take action, and I'll just tell you what exactly you need to do. First is to conduct a personal value audit. What are your core values? What do you value in life? Right? What are your strengths? Right? Ikigai will be a really good read at this point. If you figure out your Ikigai, this step will be taken care of already. So read that book, and if not, just take a page and a pen and write down what really matters to you, what you want to make an impact in your life. Next is to create a list of personal projects or skills that you want to develop independent of what social media is saying that you should do. If you really like rock climbing, set a goal to climb certain peak in certain time, right? You are unaware, you are undisturbed by what peaks other are climbing. You just want to climb this peak that is near your hometown, and you go for it, right? You doesn't care about what trends others are hopping on. If somebody is developing a game, if somebody is developing into motion graphics and something like that, you don't need to focus your energy there. You really like rock climbing, go for a rock climbing hike. Simple. So note down some of these projects that you want to pursue according to your interests. Next is audit your social media accounts. You should unfollow all the accounts that generate a lot of FOMO in your life. Are these really your friends? They are doing massive show off on their social media profiles. Are they really your friends? Do you really get something valuable out of these? Do you really have genuine conversations with these friends? And if they're not friends, they're celebrities, then I won't advise you to follow their accounts, because that is massive FOMO. And carefully audit if it is more value or more FOMO. If it is more FOMO, straight up unfollow the account. Next, implement a social media power hour. So the more you consume on social media, the more chances you will feel FOMO. So you need to restrict your social media use to 1 point. Notifications are off. Cool. Pick 1 hour of the day and you operate all your social media in that 1 hour. And most preferably on your desktop, not your mobile, because on mobile it is designed to be more addictive. On desktop, not much so. That's why you should reduce your social media time to just 1 hour a day and batch all your DMs, all your story putting and everything in that 1 hour. Next is, you don't check your mobile first thing in the morning. That is number one way to focus on what is going on others' life than focusing on your setting an intention for a good day and stuff like that. And instead of that, you are using your energy to invest it in others' life. Oh, what is going on my friend's life? What is going on in my chachi's life? Why do you care? You should focus on setting an intention first thing in the morning that this will be a great day and I will do the tasks that will help me accomplish my goals, right? So the habit of checking mobile first thing in the morning is a rubbish habit. You should stop it as soon as possible. Don't keep your mobile in the room that you sleep, or keep it very far away. And then set a morning routine that doesn't involve checking your mobile for at least first 3 hours of the day that when you wake up. Cool. Next, designate 1 day a week as a low information diet day. In this world, the information overload is crazy. Everyone is bombarding our brain with some news, some tactic, some observations. You don't need to know so much of rubbish. So one day, do a fast from information, news and everything. Just do a digital detox type of a day where you don't consume any news, you don't consume any articles, you don't watch any social media. You can Obviously, you can read, but make one day where your digital consumption is minimized to less than half an hour. Next is actually experimenting with a new skill or hobby that doesn't require the validation of social media. If you find some hobby that you like to enjoy for yourself and not for showing the world, it will be fantastic. Like are if you really like drawing and you draw but don't post on social media, that will be really great, because you're drawing for yourself, not for the validation of your social media followers, right? Then so pick up an activity and those don't post on social media for that thing. Next is joining a club that is related to your interests to form real world social connections. Remember, we discussed how online connections, which are not genuine but fake, deplete you as well as you're more isolated. So go out there and make some real world connections. Make some friends that actually enjoy what you also enjoy doing. They are one of the best connections. Like if you find a jamming partner who likes to jam with you on your guitar session, that would be amazing. Great friendship, great connection. Find these type of people who enjoy the same activity as you do, and joining a club is a really good way to do that. Cool. Let's move on to the next. Plan one offline activity each week that aligns with your values and your personal goals. Plan out one activity that you do out there offline with real people. I know it sounds scary because you are behind a screen most of the times, but you need to do it. To grow out of your comfort zone, you need to do it, and it will reward you amazingly. You need to plan one social activity. It can be, if you like running, it can be a jog with a few friends in a park. If you like singing, it would be singing and jamming in a cafe, right? Plan one activity and definitely go out and do it. You will gain so much experience and you will have so much fun. Next step is to reach out to a genuine friend, a close friend, or a family member each week. One day you take Saturday or Sunday weekend or a weekday, whatever works for you, take one day and meet them. If you can't meet, video call or at least phone call a genuine friend or a family member each week and have a good conversation, a deep conversation. Actually ask them how they are, right? Practice saying no to the commitments that don't align with your value. Most people come to you with this request like, can I have 10 minutes of your time? Can I have a really good opportunity for you? Most of these people are asking you to give your attention to them for an opportunity that favors them more than you. So, not always, but mostly. And if these opportunities or commitments are not aligning with your values, your core values, your goals, you don't have any obligation to say yes to them. Even if like somebody is posted on social media that I am doing this, I'm doing that, if that doesn't align with your goal, you shouldn't um, you shouldn't be willing to participate in that. Catch yourself when you're making comparison and then redirect your thoughts to your process. You need to think about your goals and also in helping others, but when you're comparing, you are spending time working, thinking about that problem that is not even yours, right? They are doing something. Why should I take the time to worry? You should not. And therefore, whenever you are thinking about a comparison, comparing yourself to someone else, take a moment, stop and journal. Why am I comparing himself? Why am I envious of him? Oh, is my self-esteem low at this point? Why? Note down 1, 2, 3. This way, you will create more self-awareness, and eventually, the time that you compare yourself will reduce. And then start a gratitude journal. Write down 3 things that you are really grateful for. Doesn't need to be big thing. Can be small cup of coffee, or when I sat with a friend, or this full guy that you watched today. Just write that thing, and it will help you to move on from what you don't have to what you do have right now. So yeah, that was it. We covered everything that I promised you, and I am sure that now you are ready to kill that FOMO drive inside of you. I believe you've got solid value out of this guide. I would really like it if you like this video and share it with one friend who is always chronically online. If he's chronically online, that he is definitely comparing himself to other people. Please share this guide to him. Thank you so much. See you in the next one.